Oh, don't tell me I left my purse in there with May.
I told you, I am not getting augment. Not for this.
Our customers would pay much for the services of an augmented girl. You can make a lot of money.
They tell customers to get themselves augmented, and they can go fuck themselves.
Sure, some already have. May.
No, end of talking. It's too dangerous. I'm not changing myself for someone else's pleasure.
This isn't the end of the discussion. Get the surgery done if you want to keep working. Think of the plan.
You were awesome, baby.
Jensen, you got any news yet? You know I hate being left in the dark.
Yeah, I found Van Bruggen. Looks like the Tai Young Medical Corporation hired him and the mercs to destabilize us.
TYM? They already have the lion's share of the global augmentation market. Why use Van Bruggen?
In order to get that share. Hopefully I'll be able to prove it once I get this smart card back to Van Bruggen.
You need backup, let me know.
Others think it's going to lead us to...
So the mission in the brothel, we have to pick up the security card of a bell tower guard to get access to the Tai Young Medical. I remember that was working in Upper Angsha before we cut it. In the Chinese office, Stephen, you did the Chinese office.
It's a government
office.
office.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, the Chinese government office. Yeah.
Rest in peace, Gov China.
Gov China, yeah.
Yeah, that was a really cool level that credibilized the entire process of the whole smart card that we needed. And in the end, we just put it in the brothel. So that was probably the cut that really is a little odd, but it worked.
But yeah, Mary managed to create a story around that.
Well, actually, I don't think it was me because I think the Upper Hangsha, the government office, there was tons of stuff going on in there, and you're supposed to get in. And when we had to cut it, I think it was one of the level designers for Hangsha, it might have been Francis, who said, "Let's put it in a brothel," because we should have a brothel. It's a different location. And I remember someone raising that in the meeting and everyone going, "Yeah, that's really cool." And I'm sitting there going, "Okay, we'll find a way to do that."
Is it normal that most of my memories of the Chinese government office are torturous and painful?
No.
Yes, because you had this big cleaning robot that was cleaning the windows outside.
That's actually probably the only one that I like as a memory. I mean,
but you also had something about the dumpster that you could
No, but the map
jump.
itself, there was something about it. Like
the endless stairs. Like you couldn't go through the elevator, and you have those stairs forever.
But it just wasn't gelling or something.
It was just the best map in the game.
Yeah.
Well, that's
okay, so I'm not the only one then. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, it was your first map ever as a level designer, right?
The cleaning robot was awesome. It's like this, right? As we'd walk next to the windows, we'd see this big robot kind of with those suction cups walking in the building and with those big brushes.
And actually, you were going outside through a window that has been broken or something.
You would pass under one of those robots.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All things you guys will never play.
I'm not sure if you've discovered this yet as you've been playing this game, but Human Revolution is full of Easter eggs. There are thousands of Easter eggs within this. And one of the Easter eggs that I was particularly fond of, that I didn't know about but was told by the artist, is that the level designers and level artists for Hangsha actually thought it would be really, really cool to put the codes for the storage units in plain sight. And you see next to the storage units. So as you're going through and you see all these storage units, all these garage doors, and if you look at the wall next to them, there are numbers all over the place. And the ones that are underlined inevitably end up opening up the storage units. So that I thought was a really cool Easter egg.
I worked so hard to find these bloody codes. They're just there.
Well,
I didn't know about this.
I don't think a lot of people on the team knew.
One of the interesting things about that little Easter egg is that it gave a secondary way to give a code that was not a pocket secretary, which
True.
As designers, we kind of had gotten fed up of pocket secretaries.
And as writers who had to write them, so did we.
Yeah. So exactly, we were a little fed up of people accidentally forgetting their codes and leaving them in pocket secretaries to be found. So this was a fun way to do it.
Smart little bastards.
So here on Twin, we see a building which is the munition factory for one of our weapons brand in the game, right?
Yeah, I think it's Steiner Bisley's factory.
And this ties in really well with a lot of efforts that we put in the game for all the company names and all the logos and all the brands and stuff like that, because you know it's a modern game. It's also cyberpunk and stuff like that. And when we started designing this game, we told ourselves, you know, it would make the game so much more credible. You know, you just look around you. I'm asking you people right now listening to this, just look around you, and you could see dozens, even hundreds of stickers and brands and logos and stuff like that, just in your living room or whatnot. And we wanted to reproduce this.
We really wanted to anchor it into reality.
Exactly.
Make it believable.
And even if you don't notice them, I'm sure your subconscious does, because we're bombarded with these things, right?
Absolutely.
Continuously.
Like
And so this is cool because you've been playing with these weapons the entire game that have that brand, Steiner Bisley, and now you're in front of the
building that makes it. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I actually went into a lot of details for the weapons and some items as well, like the different kind of manufacturing techniques, like different countries making different kind of things. If you look at and the Americans, they do something different ways, and the Germans and the Japanese.
We had two sides for the guns, right? You named them. What was the names for the?
I'm a Russia actually, and Germasian.
Yeah.
Thing. It was like Germanic and Asian looking, like very slick, very high polish, like the Germans' weapons or the Japanese cars and stuff. And then you get the American was more stampy and quick manufacturers for lots of people. So the feelings of the textures, well, you probably know better about the shaders, but the actual feel of the weapons and some of the items reflect that as well.
And actually, like, this philosophy has been built before designing the guns, so we would inform the designers on how to
it's something that Antoine put together even before we got into the actual visual design.
Actually influenced the names a lot as well. I think one of the names, like more American brands, like very Texan stuff, and then you get the more European,
like Steiner Bisley.
Exactly, it's more English or something.
European.
Yeah, exactly.
So Antoine, you were the mastermind behind it.
No masterminds, just an idea.
And
so humble.
So humble. A funny thing as well, there's 100 brands in the game, literally, and the brands were all, in terms of the names, were invented and created by one of our writers, James Swallow, a good buddy of ours. And
who's
English, which is why
it's not he's just born that way.
We can't blame him for that. And also the logos themselves were all made by this genial graphic designer that we had at the time. His name is Timothée Lepetit, and amazingly he left on the weekend, and he designed every single the 100 logos, 100 brands. With different ways of having the logo as well for each brand.
More than one.
More than one logos for it. It was just insane.
They were all good looking.
And they were all good. I think we had like one or two that we changed, and that's about it. So crazy work.
Can't you see I'm busy? Go bother someone else.
Something, death and taxes, Confucius.
What? Wait, that's not it at all. That's not even close.
Does it matter?
Of course it matters. Otherwise, how am I supposed to know your... You were supposed to say, death and life have their determined appointments. Then I say, riches and honors depend upon heaven.
Okay. Death and life have their determined appointments.
Riches and... Oh, never mind. You ruined the whole thing. Just meet me outside the clinic. It's safer for us to talk out there. Turn left from the front and go down the stairs. I'll be waiting at the corner.
It doesn't happen often, folks, but it appears that
Over here! Come on now! That was hardly what I would call a smooth interaction. I could get into serious trouble for this, you know.
Sorry, I'm new to this spy game stuff.
Right. Well, you're not exactly what I was expecting. I was told I would be meeting a girl. How do I know you're not an imposter or some sort of double agent? Don't think I don't know this could all just be an elaborate trap to set me up.
Look, no offense, Mr. X, or whatever your name is, but I really don't have time for this. So if you could simply just give me what I came for, I'll be on my way.
Yes, yes. I have it right here. Evelyn Carmichael's autopsy report. Here, take it.
Thank you.
I trust you will put this information to good use, because accountability and justice is at an all-time low, I'm afraid. It pains me to see this once great city, which stood as a bastion for reform and progress against our oppressive communist origins, succumb to the trappings of corporate bureaucracy and petty corruption. Corruption so often typical of your Western governments.
Whatever you say. Now, if you don't mind, I really must be going.
Well, there is still the matter of my payment. 1,000 credits was the agreed-upon price, I believe. Isn't that right?
A little piece of advice. When attempting to extort money from someone, don't give them what they want before trying to rip them off.
What? What? You mean you aren't going to pay? But I risked everything to get you that file.
Chalk it up to a learning experience and move on.
You scoundrel! You'll regret this someday. You just mock my words.
See you later, X. Malik, I just got the autopsy report. No drugs or alcohol in Evelyn's system. And her estimated time of death doesn't fit Lee's story. She did die from a head wound, but not one that matches the evidence found at the scene.
I knew it. It couldn't have been just an accident.
There's more. Evelyn was pregnant. Malik?
I'm here. We can't let him get away with this, Jensen. He's guilty. He has to be. Can you go to his apartment?
And do what?
Get proof. Get something. I'm sending you the coordinates. Contact me again when you're there.
Access granted.
Malik, I'm inside Lee's apartment. Doesn't look like anyone's home.
Damn. Okay, look. Lee isn't smart enough to properly cover his tracks, so look around. Maybe you can find something suspicious.
Hey, Lee, baby. Can't wait to see you today. But I'm stuck at work. I know, I'm sorry. I'll make it up to you, baby. I promise. I'll meet you at the Hive, okay? Just don't get a party started without me. I want you all to myself tonight.
The Hive? I should have guessed Lee would be there. It's pretty much a second home for him.
Wait a minute, you heard that?
Sorry, Jensen. I don't like invading your privacy like this, but it's important. Plus, this gives me an idea. When you're done looking around Lee's apartment, head to the Hive. Contact me when you're there.
I'll keep looking. I'm sure there's more here. Malik, I found a baseball bat, but it looks clean. Almost like it's been washed recently.
Maybe Lee washed Evelyn's blood off of it.
That's what I'm thinking. But I'm not sure it could inflict the type of laceration she had. I'll stick around a bit. I'm sure there's still more to find. Malik, I think I got a probable murder weapon. A broken clock. The kicker is the hands line up roughly with Evelyn's TOD. Coincidence?
That's a hell of a stretch. You really think?
If Lee's as dumb as you say, maybe. We'd need lab tech analysis to confirm, but if there ever was a smoking gun, it fits. I'll make one last sweep to make sure I got everything.
Access granted.
Malik. Looks like Hong Sr. was upset with Hong Jr.'s behavior and threatened to cut off his inheritance if he didn't stop whoring around. Sounds like he considered Evelyn beneath the family name.
And if he knew she was pregnant, I can't believe Lee would do something like that just for money.
Speaking of money, the Hong family seems heavily invested in both Bell Tower and Lim. That could explain the cover-up and lack of a proper investigation. Okay, I think that's it. I'm heading to the Hive now. I doubt we'll find anything else in here without calling in a forensics team.
Sounds good.
Malik, I'm in the Hive. What's your plan?
Find Lee and talk to him. I want you to convince him you know exactly what he did to Evelyn and why. If you can make him panic, I'm willing to bet he'll spill his guts. Just make it look like blackmail. If he's willing to pay to keep you quiet, he's basically tying his own noose. I'll listen in and record everything.
Got it.
What you want, Chrome Boy?
Is your name Lee Hong?
Yeah, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. What's it to you?
I want to talk to you about Evelyn Carmichael.
Man, it's off! I already told all you narcos all there is to say.
Relax. I'm not with the police. I work private. And you could say I specialize in cases like yours.
If you ain't police, then what the fuck you want?
A simple proposition. I have proof that shows you murdered Evelyn. And I want you to pay me 2.5 million credits to make that proof disappear.
2.5? Bullshit. You ain't got shit on me, narco. I ain't paying you shit.
I strongly suggest you reconsider.
And I strongly suggest you get the fuck out of my face. Cause unless you got your proof right here, I ain't got shit to say to you.
All right. Let's start with a police report. I know your story doesn't match up with the evidence at the scene of Evelyn's fall.
Oh yeah? And why's that?
Because the police report itself was falsified. Why else would that be, if not to cover up a weak alibi?
Man, you gotta be kidding me. That's some weak-ass shit right there.
Not only does the evidence not add up, but neither does your testimony. You lied about why Evelyn fell down the stairs in the first place. You said you'd both been drinking heavily prior to the accident, and the reason Evelyn fell was because she was drunk. We both know that isn't true.
Man, that shit was in the papers.
Now, if the evidence doesn't fit and your story was a lie, then how did Evelyn die on that night? Well, the answer is pretty simple, really. You killed her. But how? By hitting her in the head with that antique clock you keep so prominently displayed in your apartment. The lacerations on her head, the intracranial hemorrhaging, it's the perfect match.
In my apartment? How the fuck do you know what's in my apartment?
And like any good crime of passion, you needed motivation, something to fuel your violent outbursts. What did Evelyn say or do to make you murder her? She told you she was pregnant, and you panicked. Faced with the prospect of losing your easy way of life, you struck out at her in anger.
How? That's impossible.
But now the final piece of the puzzle. Why was Evelyn's death never considered a murder investigation? Because your family, one of the wealthiest and most influential families in Shanghai, covered it up. But whose silence did they buy? Bell Tower. Your family's sizable investments in Bell Tower assured they would turn a blind eye to any of your run-ins with the law, no matter how serious.
Fuck this shit, man! And fuck you!
I can help you, Lee, but only for a price.
Alright, fuck! I can't believe this shit! I'll pay you, man! I'll pay you, just... What do you need from me?
Details. Let me hear your side of the story, and then we'll move on from there.
I don't know! Evelyn, that stupid bitch! She was going to ruin me. I didn't mean to kill her, okay? Evelyn wouldn't shut up about us, about the baby, so I hit her. I just wanted to make her shut her stupid mouth. But the dumb bitch started freaking out. So I hit her again until she finally stopped screaming. When I realized what I'd done, I panicked. She was barely breathing, so I carried her to the stairs near my apartment and dropped her. I had to make sure it looked like an accident. I had no choice. She trapped me. She just wanted my money. I would have been ruined.
I need to go. We'll be in contact again soon.
Huh? What about the evidence? And the money? Where the fuck you going?
Goodbye, Lee. Malik, please tell me you got a recording of all that.
Oh my God, Jensen, I could kiss you right now. I can't believe you got him to confess so openly like that.
To be honest, it was easier than I was expecting. You were definitely right about Lee. He's not exactly the sharpest tool in the shed.
Well, don't get too cocky just yet. Before I send our little friend's confession off to the local media and authorities, I want to get some Shanghai street justice first. There's a control panel linked to the hive I need you to hack. Uploading the coordinates now.
Access denied.
All right, Malik. It's hacked.
Verifying the signal. Come on, come on. Okay, I'm in.
Hello. Stop
Remote frequencies are clear, thank God. Uploading now.